Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Dalia Ceja, and today I'll be showing you how to make homemade spicy chicken empanadas. I just came back from a 3-week trip from Argentina and Brazil, and I absolutely fell in love with the Argentinian empanadas, and I wanted to share this recipe with you. This recipe is great as a party appetizer or entree. Now, the name empanada stems from the Spanish verb empanar, meaning to coat in bread. And typically, an empanada is usually known for its variety of fillings, but a great empanada begins with a dough. So to start, I'll be showing you how to make it, and from there we'll move on to make the spicy chicken filling. So here are the ingredients you'll need to make the empanada dough. This serving will make about 10 to 12 medium-sized empanadas. And to start, we're going to want to separate the wet from the dry ingredients. So first, we'll start with the wet ingredients. What it calls for is 1 egg in a medium-sized bowl, 1/4 cup of milk, and 1/2 cup of ice-cold water. And then you're just going to want to whisk it until it's properly mixed. So the wet ingredients are mixed. Now we're going to move on to the dry ingredients. What it calls for is 2 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of margarine or butter, about 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And feel free to use your hands to mix this. Just make sure you wash them before, because you really need to get your hands in there and mix all of the ingredients together. And this may take a couple minutes. You'll know it's ready when it's not sticking to the bowl anymore. So the dough isn't sticking anymore. Now we're gonna incorporate the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Now what you wanna do is make a well on the bottom of the dry mixture, and then incorporate the wet ingredients. Okay, so now we're gonna wanna really use our hands to knead in the dough together until it's stiff. This may take a couple minutes, but I'm already starting to smell the outcome. So this is probably one of my favorite parts, kneading the dough. I've been kneading it for about 5 minutes. It looks like it's almost done. And in a few minutes, I'm gonna put it in saran wrap in the refrigerator for about half an hour, and then we're gonna continue on with the spicy chicken filling. So here are the ingredients you'll need to make the spicy chicken filling. What it calls for is 2 breasts of chicken, which I already boiled and shredded, 1 bell pepper, 1 can of olives, 1 serrano and a jalapeno pepper, 6 cloves of garlic, 1/2 of an onion, my secret ingredient, which is jalapeno juice from canned jalapenos, a few pinches of cumin, of cayenne pepper, a little bit of chicken broth to moisten the filling, and salt and pepper to taste. And what you're gonna wanna do is finely chop all of the ingredients. Start by sauteing the onion, the garlic, and the 2 chile peppers. We'll put a little bit of olive oil to start to an already preheated pan. Gonna bump up the temperature a little bit. Okay, let's start with 1/2 of onion, garlic, and the 2 chile peppers. We're gonna wanna let this saute for a few minutes, and then we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. The onions are looking nice and golden. Let's incorporate the rest of the ingredients. Bell peppers, the chopped olives, 2 breast chicken, finely shredded, 1/2 cup of jalapeno juice, a few pinches of cumin, a few pinches of cayenne pepper, just a splash of chicken broth, which will give it a nice flavor to it. And we're just going to mix the ingredients for a few minutes to really let in all of the flavors soak in together. Wow, the smells are absolutely intoxicating. The great thing about empanadas too is that there's so many varieties of fillings that you can make. For the vegetarians, a great recipe would be call for a cheese, potato, and spinach filling. It's simple, it's easy, and it's delicious as well. And for those of you who have a sweet tooth, I tried some amazing dulce de leche filled empanadas as well. So you have room to be creative in all ways. Okay, we're gonna let this sit for about 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna add all the ingredients together. So the filling's done, all it needs is salt and pepper to taste. Let's try it first. Be careful, it can be really hot. Delicious, maybe a little bit of pepper and salt. Okay, so now all that's left is putting everything together. I just took the dough out of the refrigerator, the stuffing's done, and all we have to do is actually assemble the empanada. What we want to do first is cut the dough in quarters so it will be a little bit easier to roll out with the rolling pin. Just put the other ones aside for now. And first you want to put a little bit of flour on your cutting board so that it won't stick. So the fun part, rolling it out. And the thinner the better, because I like my empanadas really nice and fluffy. It looks about right as far as the consistency and the thinness of the dough. So what you're going to want to do next is cut it. Preferably a biscuit cutter would work best as far as cutting the actual dough. So you just want to get it to its corner so you won't waste any of the dough, and give it a little bit of a turn. Perfect. And it should easily slide off. And what you want to do, and I'll just use my fingers, is you don't need that much stuffing, but you want to put it on one side of the actual empanada because you need enough room to fold it over and to crease it with a fork at the end. So we're just going to put a little bit more. And in this case, I'm going to add a little bit of mozzarella cheese. And then the key point of it is to just get it on one corner. And then you're going to want to carefully flip it over until it's almost a half moon shape. And from here, you're just going to want to, I guess, close the ends with your fingers to make sure that none of the filling is coming out. And the last trick is to get a fork and then to crease the edges. So just be very careful when you crease the edges with the fork. Look, first empanada already good. So the last thing you're going to want to do is put a layer of beaten egg on top of the empanada. And this is for the presentation after it's done baking in the oven. So I just pulled out the spicy chicken empanadas from the oven. It smells amazing. I can't wait to try them. I think this will pair really beautifully with a Malbec or a red varietal of your choice. This makes me miss Argentina, but I had so much fun making them. I hope you did as well, and till the next time. Salud!